We just came back from a visit to the Netherlands. The best was seeing our family and being at our nephew's wedding. But the food, the food, so good. We visited Utrecht, my hometown, and we had these delicious buttery cookies that I had forgotten about, spritze, and that's what we're going to make today. Hi, I'm Twan and welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to this channel, I focus on cooking foods from my home country, the Netherlands, and some of its former colonies such as Indonesia. Today we're making Utrechtse spritze, and as the name suggests, they were invented in my hometown of Utrecht. In 1888, Peter Bergman came up with the recipe for these delicate, buttery, slightly crispy cookies called spritze. There are many variants of them, but I feel that since Utrecht is my hometown, I should make the Utrecht variety. Spritze get their name from the German word spritzen, which means to squirt or to spray, and what that really means is that the dough is piped onto a cookie sheet rather than formed by hand or with a cookie cutter. The cool thing about this recipe is you don't need a mixer. You make it all by hand. The only thing you will need is a piping bag. To make Utrechtse spritze, you will need 250 grams of pastry flour, 200 grams of room temperature unsalted butter, 125 grams of bastardsuiker or caster sugar or superfine sugar, 30 grams of a loosely beaten egg, this is about half an egg, 5 grams of lemon zest, I needed 2 lemons to get to 5 grams, and 3 grams of salt. Key to this recipe is to work quickly, so make sure you have everything measured out and ready to go. So there's a couple of other things you will need. A cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and on the back of the parchment paper I've drawn 3 strips that are 5 centimeters, 2 inches wide, with probably 1.5 inch gap in between. I will use that as a guide to pipe the dough on. A piping bag with an M1 tip. Normally I use disposable piping bags, but when I did that for this recipe, they actually burst at the seam because the dough is thick and it takes a lot of pressure to push it out. So make sure you have a sturdy piping bag. You will need a bench scraper or a dough scraper. And I have a butter knife that I use to clean my fingers with. You'll also need a sieve because you have to sift the flour. I have also already preheated my oven to 160 degrees Celsius. There it is, about 320 degrees Fahrenheit. The first thing I'm going to do is put the butter on a impeccably clean counter, and I am going to sift the flour out onto the counter to the left, like this. Pastry flour has lower protein than all-purpose flour. So you can use all-purpose flour, but the texture won't be quite the same. Probably a better substitution would be cake flour, which has even lower protein than pastry flour. I'm using Bob's Red Mill pastry flour. I've divided the flour into 3 heaps because I'm going to add it gradually to the dough. Spritze are made with what's called een wrijfdeeg, a rubbed dough. And what that means is with one hand, you're going to rub the ingredients kind of into the countertop. With the heel of your hand, you're going to push away from you. You're going to bring it back, push away to incorporate all the ingredients. We're going to start with the butter, which has to be nice and soft. So we're just going to rub it like this, push it away, pull it back. Push it away, pull it back. You'll see the color of the butter is going to get lighter as you do this. And you can also use the bench scraper to bring everything together so you can start doing it again. This definitely has to be room temperature butter. If the butter is too cold and too hard, it's going to be impossible to pipe it onto the cookie sheet. Bring it all back together and start rubbing it. Okay, next I'm going to add my sugar. Just add it all to the top. There's a couple of lumps in it, so I'm going to use my hands to just get rid of the lumps. or my hand, I should say, because I'm keeping my left hand dry, just like you do when you're breading chicken. And the texture you're looking for is called in Dutch zalvig, like a salve, like a cream. And you don't want to feel any of the granules of sugar anymore before you add the next ingredient. You will notice that, again, the color of the butter is going to get lighter as you do this. This is not a 30-second thing. This is a couple minutes thing. Bring it all back together. Don't make the mistake I did the first time I made this, and I started too close to the edge of the countertop near me, and it got all over my apron. So here we go. Just keep pushing it, bringing it back, pushing it. It's kind of like playing with your food. I don't know if you can see, but the color is definitely getting lighter. And I can no longer feel the granules of sugar in here, but I'm gonna do it a little bit longer because I really want this to be pale. It's a very interesting feeling doing this to butter on the counter, but it's all part of the process. This incorporates air into your dough, and it really makes a nice creamy dough. Now you understand why I said the counter had to be impeccably clean, as do your hands. This is what I would call zalvig. Feels like a cream or a salve. So next, I'm going to add the salt and the lemon zest and just get it all incorporated. I'm sure that kids would love to do this. Got to make a mess and a cookie at the same time. And now comes what I consider kind of the hardest part, and that is I was trying to say the word mix in both Dutch and English at the same time. Mengen and mixing, so I came up with minging. We're going to add the egg to it, and at first I'm just gonna mix it like this, and then I will start that whole rubbing motion again. But first I want the egg to be incorporated. This is definitely a recipe where you want to weigh the ingredients. The ratios are so specific and so precise that I wouldn't use volume for figuring this out. So grab a scale and weigh your ingredients. That is how you're gonna get the best results. The butter, the eggs, the salt and sugar and lemon zest have all been mixed. And this is good because you really can't overdo it at this point. When we get to the flour, you want to work a little bit quickly because you don't want to overwork the flour. If you're enjoying this video, please click the like and subscribe button. It will really help our channel. And if you want YouTube to notify you whenever there's a new video, click the bell. We're going to add the first of the 3 portions of flour. And just kind of try to get it incorporated by hand before you start doing the push away motion. Push away, pull back. You're rubbing the dough. It's een wrijftegen, rubbing, a rubbed dough. Okay, time for the next portion of flour. Get it mostly incorporated before you start the rubbing action again. Okay, time for the last little bit of flour. As you can see, it's very easy for the flour to go all over the place, so be careful. More careful than I just was. Okay. And we continue rubbing until the color gets to be a little bit more pale than it is right now. Gonna give it one more little rubbing and then I think it's done. So here we go. And it's definitely getting paler, so this is great. The salt, of course, doesn't get completely incorporated. You can tell that when I rub it, the little holes from the salt, but that's okay. A good spritz has a little bit of a, I don't want to say salty taste, but you can definitely tell that there's salt in that dough. The reason I have a butter knife is because with the back of the knife, not the sharp end, it is very easy to get all of the dough, or at least most of it, off your fingers. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands and then we're going to fill the pastry bag. I've cleaned the workspace a little bit because I'm going to put the cookie sheet down there in a minute. So I'm going to fold over. Okay. I've made a cuff and I'm going to put the dough in here. I'm going to unroll the cuff and kind of shake it until the dough gets to the bottom of the bag near the tip. I'm going to push down everything that's here so that it doesn't come out of the top while I'm piping. Now I'm going to get my cookie sheet. With the M1 tip in my piping bag, I'm going to pipe a kind of like a zigzag but with curves in between the two lines that are 5 centimeters apart, and it takes some pressure. This is something that I have to use 2 hands for, and I am not necessarily the best at this, but every time I've made these, even if they don't look perfect, they taste really good. Yeah, I drew the lines to help make it a uniform shape. Because the dough will spread in the oven, you don't want to put them too close together. And this isn't making one really big cookie. We're going to cut this the minute it comes out of the oven. All right, that is it. So about 2.5. I'm putting this in my oven that is 160 degrees Celsius, 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that the spritz are in the oven, they're going to bake for 22 to 25 minutes. And we're going to rotate the cookie sheet halfway through. What you're looking for is just ever so slight browning on the edges of the cookies. I'm going to see how it looks and rotate my pan. Ooh, they're very close together. I may not have left enough of a gap. Don't burn yourself. Okay. It's time to take the cookies out of the oven. Once you take the cookies out of the oven, you have to cut them right away. We're going to cut off with the bench scraper a little bit of the edges, of the ends, I should say. And then we're going to cut them in half, and then in half again. And now we're going to let them cool completely. Here are my Utrechtse spritsen. I have left them larger this time. I like the way it looks on a photo, but normally you would cut these in half and serve them at that size. You can dip them in chocolate, like half of it dipped in chocolate. That's a traditional way to serve a spritz as well. Or you can just eat them like this with a cup of coffee or as a treat after dinner. The color is nice, little golden on the outside, but the center is still nice and pale. You don't want them to be too dark. All right, enough talking. I think it's time to try one. Eet smakelijk. A great texture, a little bit of the saltiness in there. There's a hint of that lemon, but it is the texture and the butter flavor that really shine here. Now I really want to pour myself a cup of coffee and sit down and enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you have any questions or memories about eating spritze, post them in the comments below. I'll post the written recipe on my website, twanskitchen.com, with imperial and metric measurements, and you can follow me on social media as well. If you make this recipe, I would love it if you post a picture of your creation on Instagram with the hashtag TwansKitchen. I will share it on my website and in my story. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.